welcome back to my channel. Thank you for clicking on another video. And if you're new here, welcome. Take a moment and hit that subscribe button, ring that alarm, and sound off in the comments for your girl. Let me know you're here, let me know you're watching. We would love to have you join our family. We want you here, so just click the button. Today, we're going to be testing out a new Prepoo product. So if you guys have watched any of my videos up to this point, you know that the African Pride Prepoo, that is my holy grail for prepooing my hair. And I have not ventured out too much from that since I've been introduced to the products. Sometimes I may use like a really slippery conditioner, or I'll go on with like some avocado, like water substance that I'll put together, or maybe like an oil mixture. But for the most part, I do use the African Pride Prepoo Detangle. I feel like that gives me the best intro to hydration for my wash day, as well as makes it very, very easy to just detangle my hair and get the wash day process started. So today, you guys can see we are ready. We are in need of a serious wash. It's Wednesday. My wash day is usually Monday. I don't know. I've gotten a little bit away from I've just gotten a little bit away from, I guess, my actual wash day, but I've still been regularly maintaining my hair and making sure that I'm washing it at least once a week. So this is what we're working with to start with. You can see that my hair doesn't really look that bad. It's been about a week. Well, one of the things that I go off of when starting my wash day and kind of gives me an idea of how my wash day is going to turn out is how my hair looks from the week before. You know, does my hair look, you know, crazy? Is it tangled? Is it dry? Those kinds of like assessments I make before I actually put any new products into my hair, because I want to make sure that I'm reviewing the previous products for what they are. You know, how well they perform in my hair, you know, how moisturizing they were, you know, did it maintain the style very well or long enough. And typically, just being honest, like I'm the type of person, I go in probably like every other day with some sort of moisturizer, and sometimes depending on the style, like this is a wash and go, I would spritz my hair every day just so that my curls could stay hydrated, the ends of my hair would stay hydrated. But in terms of adding like a moisturizer, what I would do is maybe every other day I would add either a little bit more gel, or, you know, occasionally going with like the leave-in. And I think the very, very last thing I did was just like use some mousse, because I knew it was getting close to the wash day and I didn't want to like layer any more gel on my hair. But coming into this wash day, you can kind of see that even though my hair is a little untamed around this front part, largely my fault, because I would say for the last like day or two I've been sleeping on my hair as opposed to putting it in a bonnet. I do sleep on a silk pillowcase, which to me really is no excuse, right? Because you still want to protect your hair is still rubbing, and even though it may move with the actual pillowcase, it's still rubbing, it's still creating friction, right? So I think in the end it still can cause breakage. It just wouldn't be as much as if it weren't a silk pillowcase. But for the rest of it, you know, it's still, my hair is really defined. You can see in like the curls that the way that they're clumped, they're still moisturized, you know, and that's what I look for going into any wash day. That's gonna let me know how my hair will likely respond and act throughout the actual wash day process. I can tell you when I start off with like really dry hair, which is not too often. I try not to allow myself to get to that point. Yeah, it just becomes a battle between me and my hair, and we already know who's winning that battle. When I start off like this, where the canvas is, you know, still pretty moisturized, and my hair is, you can see it's not, I can tell it's not really like super tangled, but just looking at it, you know, I can tell that it probably will be a fairly simple wash day. Things should go smoothly for the both of us. That is provided that the Prepoo that I'm using doesn't disrupt that process, right? So let's talk about what we're going to be trying today. I have the Nature's Little Secret Fenugreek Detangling Prepoo, and this is infused with fenugreek. It says for all hair types. kind of reading a little bit off the label, it says fenugreek is one of the oldest herbs used for cooking and medicinal purposes, but this ancient spice is excellent for hair care. Fenugreek has been known to help with hair growth and various scalp issues due to high amounts of nicotinic acid. Interesting. It also contains lecithin, which helps strengthen and hydrate your hair. Our handmade fenugreek detangling Prepoo will melt your tangles away while promoting hair growth, softening hair, and strengthening your hair follicles. Now, if you have not used the African Pride pre-shampoo before, this has some very high standards to live up to. I will tell you, and I'll insert a clip here, that my hair, when I use that product, is the most hydrated it probably could ever be, unless I'm like literally under a shower with running water. And you can see like how my curls pop when I'm using that product, and it just does something. I don't know what they put in there, but prayerfully they never change the formula, because it is spot on. It works every time, never fails. So Nature's Little Secret, you got some big shoes to fill here. So typically how I do this, you guys can see I already have gloves on. I wear gloves because I try to reduce the amount of friction in my hair, but my nails also are just razor sharp. When I say razor sharp, like I have so many scratches and scars on my body. Like I've mistakenly scratched like my boyfriend. I could literally just like swipe and you'll have a cut. My nails are razor sharp, and I've had points where I've even like broken hair just from my nail like swiping a hair strand. So we don't want that. You know, I try to do everything I can to eliminate the like any possible breakage, and especially, you know, from my nails and or just from the friction created by my fingers. And just so you guys know, the directions say before cleansing, distribute evenly on damp hair, leave on for 5 minutes and detangle, rinse well with lukewarm water, and follow up with the cucumber nourishing shampoo. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my water bottle. I didn't bring that with me because with the African Pride pre-shampoo, you're actually supposed to apply that to dry hair. So I'm gonna go ahead and get some water so I can, you know, judge the product fairly by using it how they instruct us to use it. All right, trusty water bottle. So I'm just gonna dampen this section some. So let's look at the product. It's super, so I would say like this is like super, it's not super runny. It has kind of like a custardy feel to it, custardy look. And it has a custardy texture to it. Similar to the African Pride Prepoo, it does seem to be a little bit thicker than that Prepoo, but you know, all that matters really is how it goes on and how it works on the hair. So I've seen some videos where I guess there were some issues with this product and how it actually worked, consistency and everything, but it seems like the consistency is much better. I'm not seeing some of the things that people have complained about as far as like little lumps, the product not being like emulsified properly. So I'm not seeing that. And at first application, it has some pretty decent slip. So I guess it remains to be seen. The true test for me will be in how easy it is to detangle my hair. And I would even say how my curls look compared to the African Pride pre-shampoo, because of course you can tell by the way the hair comes together that it's super moisturized and that I'm well on my way to a really good wash day. So far the slip is pretty good. And I always start out by adding the product to the outer layer of my hair, and then breaking up the section and going in between the actual hair strands. Now, I will say the other thing that I'm a little concerned about with this product is it's only 8 ounces, right? So when I'm using the African Pride pre-shampoo, because since I've transitioned to using it on dry hair, I can use a whole bottle of that stuff in one application. When I wet the hair, it does make the product last. Like, I could probably get 3 uses out of a bottle, but I will tell you that that product does not work as well on wet hair as it does on dry hair. So I imagine that the best application for this, because they wrote it down, will be wet hair, but I want to see if it prevents me from having to use a ton of product. So I'm catching some tangles here and trying to separate my hair. So I'm just trying to make sure I'm not like pulling too hard or creating any knots unnecessarily. So just take your time with that piece. But I would say for the cost of this, which I believe this jar was like, what, $11 or $12 or something, I would hate to have to use a whole bottle in order to get my hair to desired saturation, to get a proper detangle from it. If that's the case, and I end up having to use a whole bottle, I probably would not make this a staple product, because when I can get the job done with a great product that probably will even do a better job for a third of the price, you know, I don't see why. I can't logically justify paying $12 for a Prepoo when something does the job just as good, if not better, for a fraction of the cost. You guys can see me struggling here. So I think I just created a knot, but we're gonna go ahead and move on. So let's talk application. I can see that whatever changes they made with this product is definitely visible in this jar that I have. The slip is there. The slip is phenomenal on the product. Going on, it just seems to glide right on. You can see that my hair is like pretty receptive to it, seems to be receiving the product pretty well. And I don't have any of those like little chunky bits in my product and or in my hair. So whatever issues that they were having with it, you know, I commend the owner for, you know, getting on it ASAP to fix those problems so that people can actually enjoy the products. And completing the first section, I actually didn't use too much, so I'm just gonna go ahead and twist this up. Usually I just take a little bit more and add it to the ends. Obviously, you want to make sure that the ends are fully saturated so that when I go into detangle, we are not creating any knots in our ends. So here's how much of the product I used. I would say I probably used just about half. So that's 4 ounces of this product in order to get my hair fully saturated, which I guess is not bad considering how much of the African Pride Prepoo I actually use when I'm pre-pooing my hair. So I will say kudos to Nature's Little Secret for that, because my hair is very saturated and it only took me half of the jar. So I think for 2 uses, if I can consistently get 2 uses out of each jar, then that would make the price worth it for purchasing, because then that would put it, you know, just about around the same amount I would pay for the African Pride Prepoo shampoo. And I think that's a good price, anywhere from like $5 to $7 for the Prepoo. I know a lot of times we talk about like pricing and, you know, we complain about it, but I think as naturals we have to consider also, you know, think about the times that you used to go to like the salon and how much they would charge you for each part, or each extra part you would add on to kind of getting your hair done. Now, I went to the Dominican like salons when I was relaxed, so I found that to be easiest. You know, you get your hair roller set, sometimes blown out. I didn't always get my hair blown out because I liked my curls to last and kind of drop on their own, but I would get like hot oil treatments, I would get the deep conditioning treatments. If you had to get like any other special treatment while you were there, you know, a deep conditioning treatment was an extra $5 to $10 depending on when and who you went to. Hot oil treatments could have been anywhere from extra $10 to $20. So I think we often kind of complain about prices of products without really thinking about how much we would be spending if we were getting our hair done with a professional to add these products on. So you go, let's say you go 2 times, and yes, you spend $5 or $7, which today it's probably $10 to add on a deep conditioner or something. Might even be more than that, who knows. Ooh, got some knots here. We add on, you know, those special treatments. It's basically the same thing if you break down the prices. You know, think about how many uses you get out of a product and what you would be paying for it if you went into the salon and asked for that same kind of, you know, service. So I think if we think about things like that, you know, the pricing wouldn't be so bad. And then some of us, you know, I know a lot of us say that we're heavy-handed with products, but sometimes you don't always need a ton of product to get the job done. So I think we also have some opportunity to evaluate exactly how much product we're using when we're going through our stuff, you know, and do the things that can help make the products last longer, like not overusing them, making sure your hair is saturated to the right level, making sure it's the right product for the job that you're doing, because I think that has a lot to do with it too. You know, you want to wash and go and you're using a butter, you know, you can obviously expect to use way more of that butter than you would use if you were doing what it was intended to be used with, which is maybe like a twist out or a braid out, or, you know, some sort of protective or low manipulation style. So I think those are some things that we can consider when we're talking about pricing for natural hair products. And then the other piece is this. You don't have to be a product junkie. How about that? Find the products that work for you and stick to them and spend your money on those products only. I think a lot of us get caught up in the hype of, oh, all these new products are coming out, you know, our favorite influencers are using them, we want to try them, which is nothing wrong with trying products. And if that's what you want to do, nobody is talking, you know, in that regard. Spend your money how you choose to. Ain't nobody's business but your own, you know, because I do the same thing. But if you out here buying every line drop known to man, and then you complaining about product prices and all these other things, you know what you got to do, right, sis? Stop buying up everything. Stop buying up everything. Stop buying up everything. Maybe investing in those products that really work well for you, you wouldn't see as much issue with, because you're not spending unnecessary money on products that really either aren't for you, or products that you're spending money on just to kind of follow the wave and the latest trends. So I will say, I think I got a lot of, and I say a lot, but it's really probably not a lot from this little section, because it's been about a week since I've actually detangled my hair in any capacity. But I will say the one thing I think I like better about the African Pride Prepoo is that during this process, the hair stays a little bit more saturated. So it seems like as I'm like combing and brushing to detangle, this product is kind of sliding off, and I think that's just because of the water. Whereas like the Prepoo detangle from African Pride, because you're using it on dry hair, it's literally the product is on your hair. It's not sitting on the water. So I will say I think that's one noticeable difference. But I think this did a good job of like helping me detangle my hair. That wasn't like too terrible. We got some tight curls over here. So now, and for anybody wondering, like my hair, I classify my hair as 3C, 4A. So you can kind of see like the 4A sections definitely are more towards the back. You can see that those curls are a little bit tighter than the rest of the curls throughout my head. And specifically, I would say it's just kind of like this middle section in the back. I'll show you guys in a quick second. So you can kind of see like these curls up here, closer to the crown of my hair, they kind of read a little bit more in the middle of that 3C4A curl pattern. So I feel like I'm like right in the maybe like middle of that spectrum. But back here, and it's kind of like this like little section, not so much the bottom pieces, but I would say like, you know, you take that like bottom third of this quadrant, it's a little looser than this middle section. So it's like, I would say the upper 2/3 or this middle like half of this back section going, and I can't even say it's fully across my head, but more so like I would say up to like on this side for sure, and then maybe like towards the outer part of the side, if that makes sense. Like the middle back of my hair is looser, and the texture is just like super, I don't want to say fine, but it's super, I guess whatever you can equate to the word fine, you know, as far as like the texture goes. Yeah, I don't know how to describe it other than that, but ultimately you can see like the curls here are a lot tighter than they are anywhere else in my hair. So I get my little like coils once the hair is dry. And I consider this section, I don't know, for some reason this particular section of my hair, like how I define like the other side, I think is the coarser section of my hair, which you can tend to see. But this is where my curls are the most stubborn. And I say the most stubborn, I mean the most stubborn. Like for me to get through this section with detangling, or like even just for styling, this is probably where my head gets the most sensitive. And you can see, like, it doesn't matter how I comb the hair, the curls, literally, they don't move. they don't move. So, oh, I heard that. Like, even with all the combing, the amount of hair that comes out of this section is probably next to none, because that's how strong this section of my hair is. So this makes for, even though, like, I consider it to detangle pretty easily, it still can give me a little bit of a challenge, because, you know, trying to get through the structure of the curl is not always easy. And that's just because the curls are pretty, like, unwavering. All right, y'all, so I finished detangling my hair. In total, it took me a while. I think this whole process took about an hour or so, but you know, whatever it takes, I guess, to not have too much of my hair come out, and just to make sure it's properly detangled before I go in and shampoo. So this is the total amount of hair that I lost from this detangling session, and I'm sure it might look like a lot to you, but just remember that my hair was in a wash and go. It was an entire week. Typically, I co-wash like on the 4th day, so, and that would give me an opportunity to either like re-detangle my hair if I felt like I needed it. But this is a whole week's worth of hair from all 4 sections. You know, we're shedding 100 hairs a day. I think this is pretty decent for a whole week's worth of shed hair. So ultimately, just kind of showing you guys what my hair is looking like right now. When I detangled the front, I did go in and kind of just like do the whole section as opposed to breaking it up. I started with the comb that way, and then I went in with the brush in sections. That just kind of helps me move a little bit more quickly in the front sections, and because I can do that because my hair is looser in the front and it's not as you know, the curls are not as stubborn in the front as they are in the back. So I was able to do those 2 sections fairly quickly. What I will say in terms of some of the core differences, ultimately I think this product has great slip. I want to say maybe it's because of the water, you know, because I kind of experienced a similar feeling when I use water with the African Pride Prepoo, is the hair is not as silky and doesn't feel as moisturized as it does when I use the product directly on my hair. So I will say I think the African Pride Prepoo does a better job at really kind of hydrating the strand. Like right now when I just sit down my hair, although you can see that there is some moisture on the hair, I think you lose a lot of the product moisture because it's slipping on the water. So the hair does not feel as hydrated as it usually does when I use my African Pride pre-shampoo. I think for the most part, those are the 2 key things, but You know, the hair feels pretty decent going into the wash day. Detangling, I do think I have an easier time detangling with the African Pride Prepoo. So this wasn't bad, you know, don't get me wrong. It's definitely a product worth having in your arsenal if you're someone that likes prepooing. But, you know, I think it really just depends on, because of the product size and price, how much you actually need to use in order to get the job done. So for me, as of right now, it's balancing out, but remember that this is my first time. I think I gave this product a pretty good base to start with because my hair was really moisturized from the previous wash day, and it was already kind of, like you could see when I took it down, it fell right down. It was just kind of ready, you know, like you can tell when your hair is ready to receive some cleansing and some new products. I don't know, I can. But ultimately, you know, is it a product that can get the job done if you wanted a detangler and you preferred something that was kind of full of more natural ingredients versus, you know, the African Pride Prepoo? And even though that one does have natural ingredients, I think they do have some more like kind of commercialized like products in there as well. So for natural products, and I would say if you're someone that can get at least 2 uses out of the jar, do I think the price point is worth it for the product? Yes, I do. Does it do what it says it's going to do? Like, you know, is it a detangling prepoo? Is it a product you can go in and detangle with? Yes, it is. Now, for someone that, you know, may have like a much coarser hair strand and or you know, just much higher like density hair, would this product be worth it for you? Honestly, I probably would say as far as value to dollar and, you know, being able to get the most out of the product, you probably would be better off using something a little less like expensive that can still get the job done, because I can see this getting really costly for someone really quickly with either extremely long hair, extremely dense hair, or extremely coarse hair. So that is my opinion on the Fenugreek Detangling Prepoo from Nature's Little Secret. So far, the products that I've tried from them, I've really liked a lot. I've only done 2. This is the second one, the Strawberry Styling Smoothie. I have another video coming up on that. It may or may not be posted before this one, but when I say that product definitely did right by my hair, some of the juiciest twists that I've ever had, and I can't wait to share that with you guys. But let me know what you thought of the entire process down below. If you think this is a product that you would use, let me know. Let me know if there's some other prepoos on the market that you guys use that you think may be a better product to kind of prepoo with. We always hear a lot about the African Pride pre-shampoo, you know, that's no secret. That's kind of like a consensus across the natural hair community. I think there are very few opinions where people just don't like that product. But if there is something else that you use, let me know what that is down below. Maybe I'll give them a try one day. And let me know what you thought of the overall product application, the end result, and everything down below. Thank you guys for watching another video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.